Hi, this video is going to be about restorative yoga, and I'm going to suggest that you have a block or something similar, a cushion and a bolster or something similar, and you might like an iPad if you have one. And I'm also going to suggest that you look at the accompanying notes before you've seen this. I do hope you have seen the accompanying notes. I'm going to show you how to get in and how to get out of each posture, and then it's for you how long you want to stay. You might want to pause the video if you've got a remote control to hand, or you might want to have a look at the notes first so you know what's coming up. Okay, right, just got about the cat might come and join us. They like restorative yoga and they're very good at it actually. So first thing we're going to do is, it's called Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined cobbler's pose. And we're going to be lying down on the mat and have the feet together and the knees wide. So the bolster or your support is actually underneath the thighs here. So it's allowing the hips to open. And then you might want to use a pillow under your neck, and you might want to use the eye pillow too. And you just have the arms at a comfortable place by your sides, belly, or even perhaps overhead. And then when you come to leave the posture, first thing to do is to bring the knees back together. See how that feels. So really taking your time, and then remove your support and roll to the side. Okay, and then just have a little bit of a break, give just a few breaths before you move on. So the next one we'll be doing is a supported back bend, and there's a couple of ways you can do this. Well, loads really, but I'm going to suggest two. You could sit on your support, your bolster, and have your head off the end, or with a cushion, so you have a really open throat as well, but that does depend on your neck. You could have your legs long or your knees bent, or if you've got another support, another bolster or something, you could come back to Supta Baddha Konasana. So that's version 1. Version 2 is to have the head on the bolster, so your hips are off. So you're lying like this, and you've got to support more for the lumbar area, and you've got that lumbar curve, so you could be like so. Now if you find this a bit strong on your lower back, you could use your cushion under the hips. So this is my preferred way. This is what I would be doing. So it's open across here, across the shoulders, across the chest. Okay, so when you come out of it, you want to just roll over, perhaps rest on your side. So that's an opening for the chest, very gentle back bend. Now the next one we're going to, oh, and of course you could use your eye pillow too. Next one we're going to do is a twist, and it is a gentle opening knee down twist. What I normally do is to put the bolster between the calves and the shins. You could have your support, but maybe the eye bag will not be appropriate for this one. It may fall off. So we take the knees over to the side. So you could turn your head towards the knees, or you could turn it away from the knees, or you could look up towards the ceiling. Okay, version 2, you could have your knees against the block, the bolster, and perhaps a block between the knees. So you're more like this. And then when you come to leave the posture, removing your supports, your props, and spend a few breaths lying on your back. And as I've no doubt you guessed, you'd come over and do side 2. So we've got a twist. So the next one I'd like us to do is a side stretch. And what I like to do with this one is actually to have the support under the rib. So it's between the hip bone and the armpit. So it's very much on the ribs. And then I normally have a pillow or something similar, or could be your block, like so. And what I would do for myself is to bring the arm up and over. So you're very open down the top side. Now I'm aware that some people's shoulders might find that too much. So you bring the arm to where it feels comfortable. Or you could perhaps have your arm resting on a support of some sort. And then when you're done, the other side will come, but you would remove your support, rest on that side, so we're actually making the two sides even again, and roll onto your back. Side 2. I'm going to suggest that the next one could be done in various different ways. It's going to be gentle inversion. You could have your legs up a wall. You could put the back of your legs into your sofa, so you're in this position. I would normally, for my restorative inversion, bring my hips and pelvis underneath the bolster, or you could use your block, and then from here bring the legs into the air. So we'll have done this one in class many times. It should be very familiar. And then as an option you can bring the arms up. So we don't want to be reaching with the arms. We want to have the shoulder blades and shoulders down, and the arms just seem to stay there. The joints fall into the support. So we don't want to be rigid here. Same thing with the legs. We want everything just to hang. And you can experiment with wide legs, arms down, anywhere you like, anywhere that feels comfortable. And as your legs are elevated, they may get a little tingly, they may feel a little cold because the blood has further to go. If you have uncontrolled high blood pressure, this would be one to avoid. So please, if you're trying to get your blood pressure under control, then this isn't one for you. You might want to rest from time to time with the knees bent. So when you're done with it, you're going to be lowering the feet and removing your support. Resting there, perhaps resting flat. Seeing how that feels. And then the last one we're going to do is a sort of a forward folded position. I'll give you a couple of options on this one. One that I particularly like is a crocodile, if you can remember crocodile, belly down, but actually lying over the bolster. And your legs could be quite wide for this one. You could have your pillow or cushion, and you could have your arms down to the sides. For me though, it feels more supported with the arms in this position. And then version 2 is to have a child's pose, and different ways of doing child's pose. You could bring your bolster over your thighs and rest in this way. You could perhaps raise the bolster and lie into it. You could have your head to the side. You could have your pillow, or you could have it in your abdomen. And if you do happen to have one of these, what I would normally do with this is to bring it over the back of the neck. And then coming up carefully. So I said this was the last one. Probably what would be a final one, and the best thing to finish would be savasana. So I would also suggest that you use support under your knees, cushion or block, my pillow if you have one. And then when you're done, taking your time to have a stretch. Rolling onto the side, pausing there. Before easing yourself up to sit. So if you haven't read the accompanying notes, go back and read them now, and I'll give you more guidance as how you could get the most out of a restorative practice. But thank you for watching, thank you for following on, and I hope that you enjoy the practice. It is one of my all-time favourite ones. Namaste.